Yo, what's good, everybody? Good morning. Um, I kind of somewhat just woke up, but today I'm just gonna be talking to you guys, and maybe someone might join the stream, maybe not. Hopefully, someone does, cause that will be pretty fun. So, yeah. Okay, so first of all, um. Okay, okay, wait. First of all, guys. So I need to get like the subscriber count up there. So YTSU. I say if you got any subscribers. I'd be surprised if it. Yep, we did not. Yeah, I'm absolutely failing, guys. Like I need to lock in, yeah. Cool thing my cousin taught me though is how to use alt to like make it smaller. That's a cool thing. Okay, yes. I'm gonna put it like in that little window. That's gonna be like cool. Huh. That's funny. I'm gonna like stand on this little edge. Oh my gosh, this is fun. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Okay, wait. I don't even know how the sound look works, I guess. Let's go to my channel, guys. And why isn't it right there? What the heck? Okay, so apparently it can't be minimized. So this has to be there. And on top of that, that has to be there. Okay, we're good. Move this over here. Okay, yeah, this is better now. Okay, so, okay, wait. Okay, wait, before, okay. So if anyone's even in the stream, like, say what's up. I'm gonna go on my phone real quickly and like see how it looks like right now. Okay, wait. Okay. So if anyone's even in the stream, like, say what's up. I'm gonna go on my phone real quickly and like see how. Okay, guys, it works. No, wait, we actually got someone in here because they clicked the heart twice. Wait. No way, we got people in the chat. Okay, that's tough. Bro, becoming a PNG YouTuber, it wasn't even that hard. Like, this was easy. This is cool. Like, da. Okay, wait. Let me go back. Okay, guys, you're probably getting bored of watching me literally not do anything. So I'm gonna do another window capture. Okay, wait. First thought. Yeah, why do we even want to watch chat? Wait, I need to find what to watch. I'm gonna close this real quick. Hey. Okay, guys, so I'm thinking. Okay, if you're just putting in like in the stream, like tell me. Yeah, bro. I'm not shooting at anyone. Bro. I'm going crazy, yeah. Oh my gosh, bro. You know, let's listen to the Backrooms Explained. Guys, let's watch the Backrooms Explained. Protect your dreams under our roof. What am I even watching now? Oh my gosh, what the heck? Wait, this is actually peak. Wait, this is niche. This is niche. Wait, this is niche. Wait, oops. Let's move my little guy over here. Wait, this is niche. Y'all don't even know. This is niche. What? Voss? Wait. I just have a cool idea. What if I put the subscriber thing in my hands? Like this. Now what if... Wait, this is... Wait, that might work. Wait. Yeah, that actually kind of works, not gonna lie. What the heck? Okay, that works. That looks like I'm like on my computer or something like that. Okay. Okay, yeah, my soundboards, they work. Let's go. Wait. I think it's working. Wait, I wanna do some like... Oh my gosh, I need to save that. Yo! I need to say this. Like, this is about to be so much niche aura. Okay, get out. Okay, so much niche aura. Okay, let's turn off this music. Okay, ready guys? Ready guys? This is absolute freaking, like, peak. Where did it go? Chat, why is it not working? Oh my gosh, Graham! Let's freaking go! Yo, what's up? Yeah, R-rated. Yeah, so, bro, oh my gosh. Let's go. I'm not talking to myself anymore. Let's go. Oh my gosh! Wait, yo. Bro, my voice mod or memo thing is not opening. Why is it not opening? Oh, it's already open. Oh, oh. Okay, wait. Guys. Guys, ready? Someone clip this. Someone clip that, please. Someone clip that. Please clip that. Clip that. Clip that. Clip that. Please. I need to clip that. Wait. Metal.tv, those who know Grim. Wait, I need to clip that. Wait. I need to clip that. Wait, let me clip that. Wait, I need to hear how it looks. Wait, why can't I like hear it? Wait, did you guys not hear it the whole time? Are you freaking for real? Wait, are you for real? Bro! There's no way! Oh no! Wait. Do you guys not hear the soundboards? Do you guys not hear the soundboards? Do wait! No, did you hear the like the bro? What the frick? Wait. Yes. Okay. So did it sound good? Did it make sense? Did the edit was it tough then with the sound? Okay. I need to make this volume louder. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Send me that on Discord. Wait. I wanna see if it works. Okay. Wait. Okay. Wait. The backers. Let's go back to my gaming chair. Look.
To those who have been on the internet.
Bro, I made an edit and it looks buds. Look, like 5 minutes. Bro, wait, send me on Discord. I want to look at it. Bro, that. I don't even know what I'm doing. What have I been doing anymore? Okay, wait. Where is my? Oh yeah, that's what's. Discord. Oh. Okay. Oh wait, you can hear. Okay, yeah, okay. Wait. Send me that on Discord. I know what I'm doing. What have I been doing anymore? Okay, wait. Where is my? Okay. Okay, wait. Why am I still the Grow a Garden freaking? I don't care about Grow a Garden anymore, bro. Get me out of the server. And how do I find? Why am I still the Grow a Garden freaking? Wait, what is that? Wait, why did I send a fire emoji? Wait. Okay, wait.
Bro, why while, it seems common that these walls are something that every online horror fan has burned into their memory. But to the general public, this month may be the first time they have heard or seen what they will soon come to know as the Backrooms. If you haven't seen, a new trailer just dropped for the Backrooms movie, and the hype that has built around this film is insane. The Backrooms is about to become mainstream, and if you aren't familiar with the concept and the trailer has you a little confused,
it's not niche anymore, guys.
Because maybe some of you are young enough that the only relationship
not niche anymore.
You have to this is games that you've seen your favorite YouTuber play, or some of you were past the prime internet age and you are just confused as hell as to what is happening. Put it simply, the Backrooms is this idea that if you felt just right or took a wrong step at the perfect time, you could accidentally fall through your world and into this maze of yellow horrors. Originally, the concept of the Backrooms came from an online post years ago. This simple picture has birthed thousands of different stories. An entire YouTube series and communities are based around this simple image that users coined as the Backrooms. A place that feels human and lost.
Graham, is this your TikTok?
Almost outside of our world.
Hi, is this your TikTok? Is this your TikTok, son? Wait. Graham, is this your TikTok? Graham, is this your TikTok? Oh my god. Bro, I need to save this. Okay. Oh, I thought that was. That's tough. Okay, let's keep watching.
You may be wondering, what is this upcoming movie going to be about? Well, luckily, spearheading the project as one of the directors is Kane Parsons, better known online as Kane Pixels, who is the creator of the YouTube series titled The Backrooms. And these videos basically exploded the Backrooms from a random creepypasta, specifically for its, at the time, very hyper-realistic take, almost single-handedly reintroducing first-person horror in a way we've never seen. As viewers for the first time were able to enter a world they never thought would be possible. Now, I do want to note he's not the creator, but he's sort of like the Ben Franklin of it. He didn't invent it, he just made it extremely popular, weaving in viewers with an insane concept and unfolding plot that only gets more twisted as time goes on. I understand why A24 picked him, and it's also very safe to say that he will most likely be pulling a lot of influence from his previous work, especially since we see a lot of scenes in the Backroom trailer that use the same first-person POV. So today, I'm going to play those who may be new, and may just need a rehash on the surface-level understanding of the Backroom lore and what we might expect to see in this upcoming movie.
I love the Backrooms. I love the Backrooms. I love the Backrooms. I love the Backrooms.
This is going to be a shorter, more digestible topic cover.
This is so niche. I'm like more affirming. Bro, stop giving your taxes.
Opening up to a furniture store, Captain Clark really has no story purpose in the Backrooms online series. It's more of an Easter egg to the original picture, since the Backrooms
Guys, I think I have ADHD, guys. Guys, if you can't hear any of the soundboards, I'm freaking. It looks like I'm going crazy. Oh my gosh, what the niche. Wait, what are these old? Oh my gosh, wait. Graham, you're gonna get mad. No, not this one. It's, where is it at? I think, wait. Okay, I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna play it. Oh. That's Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Donation from Griff. He sent $1 trillion. Okay, I need to lock him.
One belongs to our protagonist Clark, who seems to have found a doorway in his store's basement. Doorway is how Kane refers to openings to the backrooms in his series. Most of the time they're completely invisible, which is why people don't know.
Bro, guys, it's about to be my first R-rated movie that I've ever seen when I watch it.
They're entering the backrooms, and these doorways appear all over the world and throughout time. But I'll go more in depth on that later. For this split-second frame, we can see a commercial for a therapist, maybe even a psychiatrist, Dr. Mary Klein. From what we can tell from the narration, Clark seems to be mapping out the entire area of the backrooms from his entrance. Yeah, Clark, you might be doing that for a while, but his methods, such as tying a rope to track where he's at, is very smart, as is something we see done a lot in the online series, specifically by a company called Async, who I'll also get into later. But they may be the people who we see monitoring Clark on the camera screens, and I'm 100% sure these are Async workers in the hazmat suits, which Kane uses these models all the time. Also,
Bro, I'm hungry. I didn't even eat breakfast yet. And guys, I'm gonna go for like a big walk outside. It's like so sunny. I'm gonna go like biking around. If I hit 4K subs in this stream, I will live stream that. But it's only you watching, so anyway.
Meaning that's behind these guys in this scene is also seen earlier in the furniture store. And I'm gonna say it right now, that is not a coincidence. We also see Clark looking for the exit, which is no longer there, as the backrooms has a tendency to...
You're not leaving, little boy!
...down in space and time. Yeah. Things get confusing very quickly.
I'm so hungry. I want to eat.
Come on, it's not a backroom.
Guys, also, I'm Greg. Mangoes.
Now,
Okay, I need to stop.
This is just a trailer. I really don't want to make it too bold.
Ooh, what the heck was that? A backrooms movement? That has to be like, yeah. I think that I might just make this as my main keyboard. Okay, but I can just keep on it.
Sort of a claim here. The sneaking suspicion that this woman is probably gonna die anyway. Even 1,000 feet up in the air. And that basically wraps up the trailer. Now with that out of the way, it's time to go through some major topics in the OG series to get you up to date with everything in a timely manner. So the first question I want to answer, and what many of you guys may be wondering, is what is the backrooms? Is it really just an alternate reality, or is it something man-made? And the answer is yes. Well, it's a lot more
what the heck did I just see?
So in Kane Pixel's backrooms, Async is a research facility that in the 80s had proposed an idea to create a machine that could open up a small pocket universe that could help the world store things. Yeah, the backrooms is basically a glorified closet. Well, it didn't start off.
Son, what the heck?
Truly, the
Oh my god!
years before.
How does that even work?
National Laboratory, where research was done in a particle acceleration by a Philip R. Heyman. Particle acceleration is actually a real-world science where particles are shot at each other to make a reaction at very high speeds.
Okay, guys, I'll be back. I'm gonna keep it planned now. I'll be back.
Molecule science, huh? And over the years, this idea and research grew into a bigger project with more funding, where it would culminate with this.
Love Roblox? Earn Roblox digital gift cards with Microsoft Rewards. Sign up for Microsoft Rewards and earn points for your everyday activities when you search on Bing, play on Xbox, and use other Microsoft products. Get started today.
You've been promised incredible.
Guys, oh my gosh, I freaking saw it said that it was playing Roblox, and I freaking ran to the other room. Oh my gosh.
Thing with AI. really lived up to all the hype.
Bro, I can't even. Okay, I'll be back. I need to go get some food. Okay, guys, I'm back and I'm gonna leave again. Bye bye. Guys, I'm back and I got some food. So the plan is that after I'm done eating, I might play some games with you guys or with myself. And then I'm gonna end stream. Bro, why did I get an ad? I didn't even do anything yet. Like what?
American Family Insurance.
War Thunder hits you like a ninth wave with long-awaited new vehicles and graphics upgrades.
And at the time,
Okay.
I wasn't too sure what they
I'm
were
gonna mute so you
or
guys don't
even
have to
why
hear
they
me
were there.
eat,
I
but
chalked
yeah.
it up to the backrooms trying to imitate the real world, but the backrooms isn't trying to imitate the real world. I think that the backrooms is colliding different moments in time together all at once. The thing that really made me think this was rewatching the Backrooms Found Footage 3. Yes, it was 45 minutes long, and yes, I rewatched it probably 7 times for both these videos. But here we get a moment where we're following our new main protagonist. I say new because most of the time they die or we don't know what happens to them. Entering the backrooms that he just accidentally got into and is lost, searching around, where he comes to a house which is not unusual to see, but this one is fully furnished, and you can even hear other people.
I'm sorry. I don't know where I am. I need help.
You're on private property. You need to leave.
I'm trying, okay?
And he gets to a point against the wall where he's actively talking with somebody through not even a doorway. It's like he can hear a next door neighbor, but he can't exit, which is odd. It's almost like the worlds seem to be merging together. Like I mentioned before, the backrooms is unstable. It shifts around unless it is attached to something in the real world. And I personally think that async opening up the portal to the backrooms made the entire world itself unstable. Now we're gonna get a little scientific here, but imagine if this was a real life thing. Imagine having a pocket dimension that you could just go in and out of at any time. Not only would that be super cool, but it would take an insane amount of energy. Ripping the fabric of space-time would not be so easy. Hence the reason why they were blasting particles at each other to release huge amounts of energy. So my own headcanon is that the backrooms is actively taking so much energy from the universe, it's basically merging it into itself. And not just our time right now, but possibly every time ever. And the longer that the backroom stays open, the more information and energy it steals. That's why in earlier versions there was less stuff in it, less human things. But as it advances, we get huge buildings, city streets, fully furnished houses that I think are all combining from the real world. But that's just my personal theory. And if you thought that was crazy, go watch the whole hour-and-a-half video. It gets so much more insane and detail-oriented, but hopefully now you can watch the backrooms and not have no clue what's happening.
It's no secret.
That was pretty tough. What should we watch now, guys? What's this?
That I didn't like horror movies growing up. They scared me. But what if I told you the scariest movie I ever watched wasn't a horror movie at all? It wasn't a movie that haunted me as a kid, or even the one that scarred me as an adult. Instead, it was a movie that's a little out of the ordinary.
Good morning.
Wait, guys, let's
But
watch
why?
this.
How did such an innocent looking movie scare me so much? Well,
Okay.
I'll show you. Today, I'm gonna go over The Truman Show. My goal by the end of this video to help you truly understand why it's the scariest movie I've ever watched. I ain't gonna be alone in this. And what better place to start than at the very beginning? We open up the movie with our very ordinary main character, Truman Burbank, talking to himself in the mirror, as ordinary people do. And Truman is just your average Joe. He actually might be better than one. He wakes up in a jolly mood, greets his neighbors with a big smile on his face, holds the door for people at work. I mean, it's Jim Carrey. How can you not like him? He's just a good guy surrounded by good people in a very nice, ordinary town. At least, that's how it seemed at first. Until one day, while going about his regular routine, you know, greeting his neighbors, greeting the dog, Truman hears something coming from the sky. Then, a loud crash on the road right next to him. He goes to investigate, and it's some sort of studio light.
I have a house payment. I have a car payment. I didn't know Spectrum had mobile
And
services.
you have a payment to pay me to have to watch this ad. Now give me some money.
I'm sure investigate, and it's some sort of studio. I'm sure it's nothing. After that silly little incident, we see Truman go about his day and go to work. And see, even the radio conveniently said it was nothing. It was just some plain cargo that fell out the sky. See, I told y'all it was nothing to worry about. Just plain cargo. Just plain cargo. And while Truman is on the way to work, this is when we get a really good look at the town that Truman lives in, Sea Haven. And I see why it's considered a haven, cause it looks great. Freshly cut grass, no heavy traffic in sight, no dog boo-boo on the sidewalks, not even a single crackhead. Mwah, mwah, mwah. It's perfect. A little too perfect. After picking up a magazine and a conversation with these kinda aggressive twins, alright bro, you don't gotta push me, we can stop and talk, just ask. We see Truman at work, and after some dude shows Truman a newspaper saying their town is the best place on earth, yeah okay buddy, I said it's perfect, but not that perfect. We see Truman on the phone with someone asking for a lady named Lauren Garland or Sylvia Garland. Wait, I don't think that's his wife's name. When Truman is interrupted by his manager who tells him he has to handle some work at the harbor, which may seem like it's, you know, whatever, but we see Truman is hesitant to do this job. Why, you may ask? Well, it's cause Truman, like some of you probably watching this, is scared of the ocean. And not like, oh, I'm scared to go into deep water, or oh, I'm scared a shark gonna take a chunk off my butt. No. This is like me and dolls, woman and Axe body spray wearers, Rod Wave and a salad.
Guys, I'll be back. I have to go get something, and I don't want to miss the video. Guys, I'll be back. I have to go get something, and I don't want to miss the video.
Truman is not even comfortable going
Guys, I'm back, and I'm gonna meet once again.
Near it. He won't travel on it, won't stand on structures built over it, and he's definitely not dipping his toes in nada. And again, you might be wondering, why? Why is he so afraid? Well, we get our answer that very same day.
It's Google Gemini with the assist.
Bruh, stop giving me so many ads, bruh. Bro!
Later at night, after a combo with his
brother, oh my gosh,
Sea Haven to go to Fiji. Really, Fiji? You don't want to weigh your options? Maybe Greece, Japan. I don't know. At least Detroit got the Pistons and Corey Kenshin. I'm going there before I get up and leave to Fiji. What's in Fiji? We see Truman sitting by the beach, reminiscing. That move's really detailed. Reminiscing about what, you may ask? Well, his fear.
This is so bro.
It turns out terrified of it. It's not because the ocean almost drowned him or held his family for ransom or anything like that. It's because one day during a boating trip with his dad, Truman and him got caught in a powerful storm. So powerful that it knocked Truman's dad off the boat. And his dad didn't make it. So that's why Truman fears the ocean so much that he refuses to travel on it, even if it's for work. Yeah, I mean, you win some, you lose some. And while Truman is dramatically sitting on the beach, out of nowhere, another weird occurrence happens. When it starts raining, but only on Truman. What the? Eventually it starts raining around him, but I'm sure at this point you can see there's some weird stuff going on in this perfect town Truman lives. And it only becomes more clear as we continue. Truman comes home, clothes all soaked. And for the record, don't try this. Nothing good comes out of it. Unless good to you is an apology after a whooping, just don't try it. Truman sits down with his wife Meryl and tries to convince her to come with him. They can leave together, explore the world. But Meryl tells him, no, Truman, we have bills to pay, a whole life here. We can't just leave it all behind. And I thought we were gonna try for a baby. Orange. I don't want no baby. I want to go to somewhere spontaneous, like
Yo, what's good, Green Boy? I'm eating food right now, so I'm kind of gonna be. Oh my gosh. I'm eating food right now, and I'm probably gonna be muted, but I'll be here and answering. But what's good?
O-Block or something. After Meryl turning down Truman's idea, we cut to the next day, and this is when stuff gets really weird. We again see Truman do his normal routine, you know, say hello to the neighbor, drives to work, picks up his magazine, all that stuff. But as Truman is heading into work this time, out of nowhere in this crackhead-free town, he sees what looks like a crackhead, or at least a meth head, right in the middle of this busy street. And to those of you who don't deal with these kind of people often, don't worry. They're harmless. Most of the time. So the weird part isn't that people are ignoring him. That's normal. I do it all the time. The weird part is when Truman gets close to the crackhead and realizes it's his dad. Then out of nowhere, while Truman's trying to figure out what the heck is going on, these two people drag the man away. Truman chases after them, but after a bunch of convenient obstacles getting in his way, a bus takes his potential father away. This combo of all the weird stuff happening lately, yeah, Truman had questions. So he goes to the one person we all go to when we need answers, our mama. Truman tells his mom that he saw his dad dressed on the street as a homeless dude for some reason, and his mama tells him, oh, Truman, you tripping. Your daddy ain't homeless. He ain't even alive. Truman tells her it was him. I know it was. But she tells him, look, Truman, you're just feeling guilty about the boating trip. That may or may not have been your fault. But I don't blame you, Truman. I don't judge you. But it was too late. Not even the words of his mama could stop what was building in Truman at this point. A suspicion of the world around him. Once Truman gets home, we learn these events aren't the first time weird occurrences like this have happened to him. You see, something even weirder happened to him back in his more youthful days. We get a flashback to Truman in high school when he was a part of the band. I was more of an art class kind of guy myself, but band did seem fun. Never theater though. I'll never be a theater kid. And as you can tell, he does not look like a high schooler. Man, I thought Euphoria and Grease high schoolers looked old. Look at Marlon. We see what's supposed to be a young Truman lock eyes with this girl who was staring at him. And not to brag, but I've received this look plenty of times. So when I first saw this, I knew it was love at first sight. Oh, you think I'm lying? I am. Still love at first sight though. While Truman and this mystery girl are making out with their eyes, they're in Interrupted by Truman's future wife. Yay. But that was only the start of Truman's connection with this mysterious girl. We then cut to Truman's prom. Come on, bro. They're not even trying to hide it. This dude in the back is balding. When suddenly, he sees a familiar bracelet. It's the mystery girl again. But instead of this time her magically vanishing when Truman gets distracted, she gets taken away by some, I don't know, some random security from the prom? Come on, bro. That's just jealousy. But don't worry. Truman runs into this mysterious lady one more time in the library, where he...
This week, buy any large pizza at regular menu price, get a large one-topping free.
I don't care about no large one topping. And get this Roblox out of here!
He finds out her name is no other than Lauren Garland. Yeah, the lady Truman was asking for earlier on the phone, this is her. But why was he asking for her? What happened to her? What was the weirder thing that happens in this flashback? Can you stop asking so many questions? I'm getting to that. Lauren, Meryl. I don't even really like her like that. She's just kind of there, you know? And before Truman can continue questioning, Lauren tells him they should go to the beach now, which probably had Truman thinking he was about to go skinny dipping or something, so he agrees. They arrive at the beach, and after a shared kiss, geez, y'all seen each other 3 times. You don't even know her.
Son, what are we doing?
Pretending, and her name isn't even Lauren. It's Sylvia. Like, Sylvia Garland. Someone goes to get Sylvia, claiming to be her father and saying she has schizophrenia. But Sylvia persists, saying everything's fake. The sand, the sun, the moon. I knew it was too detailed. I knew it. Truman in his confusion asks her dad where they're going. And he says, Fiji. This moment was mind-blowing on the first watch. Because this is when we realized the crazy possibility that Truman doesn't love his wife at all. And also, the world he lives in might be fake. Either way, all these weird occurrences reminded Truman of Sylvia and made him even more suspicious of the world around him. Suddenly, he starts noticing even more things. The radio malfunctioning and picking up what sounds like someone announcing his exact location. Newspapers conveniently talking about the homelessness issue in the city after he saw that crackhead. And craziest of all, cars stopping for him in traffic. Actually, Truman, I think that last one happens regardless. Truman's suspicion was at an all-time high. He even switches routes to see how the people in town will react, discovering what looks like to be a set. Truman was spiraling, so he decides to go to someone else he could always talk to, his best friend Marlon. They say and watch the sunset as Truman expresses all his concerns, and he asks Marlon how traveling outside of Sea Haven was. And Marlon tells him he went all over the world, but nothing was like this place. See, again with the cap. I haven't seen a single Italian spa, Mediterranean spa, Mexican spa, and y'all trying to tell me you have the title for the best place in the world? Yeah, right, buddy. Burger and fries can't hold you up for that long. We then also see Truman spending time with some more people he actually trusts, his mom and his wife. They're going through their photo albums together, you know, baby photos, childhood photos, wedding photos, and this scene is adorable. I used to love doing this with my mom back in the day. Tragically though, I was a fat baby. And it looked like this worked. All this reminiscing on the good times makes Truman think, you know what? Maybe he
Green.
Wait,
Green, are you still here?
He should just appreciate what he has here in Sea Haven. Aw, that's nice. At least that is what he felt for a moment. Until Truman looked over at the wedding photo with his wife and noticed her fingers were crossed. Yeah. If I said Truman's suspicion were at an all-time high before, this brought it to a whole new level. He started questioning where his wife even goes when she goes to work. He starts noticing patterns in the neighborhood. The same man, same woman, same car, going around the block over and over and over again. This was the final straw. Truman knew he had to leave for Fiji. But when he gets to the travel agent, she conveniently tells him everything is sold out. Then when he goes to take the bus out of town, the bus breaks down. Y'all see what it's looking like, right? After realizing he's out of option, Truman takes things into his own hands. One afternoon, while showing Meryl the patterns he's been witnessing these last few days, he decides, you know what? Let's go to Fiji right now! Locks the car and starts driving. Is this kidnapping or would it be considered romantic because they're married? Truman takes Meryl on a joyride, and I can't lie, Truman looks like he has lost his mind. Thought he was about to start tweeting, but he didn't. In fact, Truman was more sharp and perceptive than ever. He noticed all of a sudden now that he's trying to leave, there's a traffic jam. How convenient. So Truman decides, you know what? Let's just go home. Psych! Truman fooled them. Now the road was clear and there was nothing to stop him. Truman drove nearly all the way out of town until the ocean. Truman and Meryl stare at this bridge and Meryl tells Truman, let's go home. You know you can't drive over water. Meryl, yes, Truman? You got this. Truman closes his eyes and makes Meryl drive the car through the bridge by herself. And somehow, they make it. They're out of the town. Truman has finally left that weird place. But a few minutes into their drive, after we see Meryl complain about the whole idea, you know, your mother won't like this one bit, Truman. Truman and Meryl are stopped by the authorities. Don't worry, they're not in trouble. Look at them. There was apparently a leak at this power plant, and Truman asked the officer if there's any possible way for them to go around. The officer tells them, nah. Truman says, well, thanks for the help anyways. And the officer says, you're welcome. Truman. He said his name. How would he know his name? Truman starts freaking out and attempts to run away on foot. But alas, there was too many of them. So they captured Truman and sent him home. Truman back at home is on the brink of collapse. He starts asking Meryl why she even wants to have a kid with him when she clearly can't stand him. And Meryl gives the response, I think any loving wife would give in this situation. She starts doing an ad placement. Truman is confused, but Meryl just keeps talking about some Mococo drink made from cocoa beans all the way from Mount Nicaragua. Truman loses. He starts pressing Meryl asking her what's happening and convinces himself that she's a part of this. Meryl grabs some silver and threatens to use it against Truman, but Truman turns it on her. And in her panic, Meryl screams up to the sky, do something! This confuses Truman even more, making him question even more, making him press her even more. But before things can escalate even further, we hear someone at their door. Hey, it's our boy Marlon with a few cold ones. Bad time? Truman and Marlon sit at their usual spot, and Truman tells Marlon he thinks he's losing his mind, and that he feels like the world revolves around him. Oh, but when I told my therapist that, he just called me a narcissist. Marlon starts telling Truman all this sentimental stuff about how they used to cheat off each other's papers, and how he's like a brother to him. And Marlon tells him if he thinks everyone is in on this big lie, wouldn't he have to be in on it too? And this right here, these words, they did something to Truman. I'll explain in a second what I mean, because Truman and Marlon's chit-chat wasn't over yet. Marlon tells Truman there's a reason he stopped by his crib tonight. And then, that's when we see it. The crackhead from earlier, who was actually Truman's dad. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, Truman was sure. With what Marlon said a second ago, and now this, his father magically coming back to life, Truman was 1000% sure about what most of you guys are thinking right now. Truman is in a TV show. Yes, it's true. That's the whole thing that scares me with this movie. We learned from the creator of the show, Christoph, that Truman's life has been being broadcasted since he was a baby. Actually, even before that. Because Truman was also broadcasted when he was in the womb. Meaning, he's had this man Truman doing subathons since he was a zygote. But
oh my gosh, what? Wait.
Meaning, he's had this man Truman doing subathons since he was a zygote.
Subathons, what are we doing?
Last 30 years. This would be absolutely terrifying. Imagine your mom, your dad, your siblings, your friends, bro, even your dog or cats, all of them, just actors. They don't care about you. When your dog would come to lick you or your cat would come to snuggle his head on you, he doesn't care. He's just trying to get his next check. But it doesn't end there.
Dirt, dirt, dirt. I love dirt. I'm a dirt nerd.
Me too, bro. Me too.
So you in a TV show thing also means your whole life, the one you are living right now, has been orchestrated, planned out. All those times people roasted you, your first heartbreak, even that one job you took that summer that you absolutely hated. It was really just a group of people in a writer's room like,
James, wouldn't it be funny if we made it so Derek had like a horrible accident when he's young and he's forced to get braces? I know. And then we can make his dad leave.
That's literally how the show works. And the main man running the show?
Yeah.
We see him doing a Q&A, you know, the old school call in and ask a question thing that they used to do on the radio. And we learned this show is extremely popular. I forget Kai and Speed for a second. This dude Truman is the biggest streamer on earth. He even got people in Japan watching, which is another scary thing. Not the fact that the Japanese, that's okay. Imagine 1.5 billion people. Wait, we don't gotta do that, man. Imagine just 30 people, the size of a classroom, watching you day by
Yo, wait. They had an entire like show when he was there married and everything you do. Okay.
Week by week, year over year, all your good moments, your bad moments, and scariest of all, the moments you're doing something you wouldn't even want your mama see. Answering incoming calls, but we see that a call from someone familiar. It's Sylvia. We find out the whole time was actually an activist trying to free Truman from the show. Kristoff tells her that he's actually letting Truman live a normal life, and that the real world is the sick place. Well, he is right about the real world being sick. Did y'all see they said GTA 6 might be $100? Like, what? He also tells Sylvia Truman can leave whenever he wants, and that she's just mad that he prefers his cage. Right. Sylvia hangs up saying that Truman's gonna prove him wrong, and then we cut to the next day, where it looks like the father thing worked. Truman's back to normal. He does his routine, goes to work. They even introduce a new love interest for him. Truman divorce are coming soon. But when Truman gets home, he makes an interesting decision. He decides to sleep in the basement. And Kristoff notices this and tells the guy monitoring Truman to zoom in and isolate the audio. Ain't this the 90s? What kind of Spy Kids technology is this? They hear Truman snoring, but that wasn't enough for Kristoff, so he sends over Marlin. And when Marlin gets there, he discovers Truman is missing. The town immediately goes into high alert, panic mode. They check every camera, pull out every main character, side character, and extra. They even brought out the sun. Still, they couldn't find Truman. Side note, I told you about them dogs. Dude went from super sweet to looking like Sonic Unleashed. Kristoff was panicking.
Oh my god.
Until he realized they weren't looking everywhere. They were missing one spot. One spot they never, ever expected Truman to go. The ocean. And that's exactly where he was.
You can get your mom too. Guys, I'm planning maybe going with my friend around town.
On a boat sailing away to finally leave Sea Haven. But Kristoff wasn't about to let that happen. Like something straight out of Hunger Games, he calls for this dude to cast a storm over Truman's boat. But Truman is resilient, so he holds on. Kristoff, though. Kristoff, he's even more stubborn. He strikes Truman's boat with lightning over and over again. But Truman still stands. He even starts singing. He tells them to up the winds and to capsize him. But the dude controlling it refuses to, knowing it could potentially kill Truman. So Kristoff does it himself. Powerful waves come crashing down on Truman's boat over and over and over again. Kristoff eventually calls off the waves, but it looked like it was too late. Until he's alright. He survived somehow. Probably got some fractures though. Now with no one trying to stop him, Truman sails all the way till he runs into a wall, realizing the sky was really just a painted studio wall the whole time. See, this only proves my childhood theory that the sky is some sort of painting / hologram thing. I'm still working on this. Truman walks along the water until he finds a staircase that leads to an exit sign. Truman Burbank, more like
that looks like okay, wait, guys. Wait, guys. Let me get a. Wait. I'm trying to get like a funny soundboard thingy. Wait.
Before I knew it, every step I take, he blocks it. The most troublesome guy from that.
Okay, guys, what am I even doing? Okay, let's keep watching.
Am I right, fellas? before he could walk out, Kristoff starts speaking.
Can
He
you,
tells him the truth about how
after
he's in a
you
TV
pass?
show and he's the star, and he also tells him that he knows him better than anybody else, and that he knows that he doesn't want to leave. He's too scared to. And Truman delivers the perfect response that nobody will expect.
Ooh.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And then he just leaves. To where? I have no clue.
Where
The
did
movie
he-
ends with Sylvia running out to look for Truman. Does she even know where she's going? And these two dudes watching as the Truman Show cuts transmission for the first time ever. And then they're like, well, what else they got on? Let's check. As you guys can
Oh my
see,
gosh.
this movie is very, very scary. Or at least the concept is. And it's very worthy of the title, the scariest movie I've ever watched. Now, the creepiest movie I ever watched, that's probably a horror movie. Comment down below any more movies you guys want me
That's
to go over.
crazy.
Or DM me them on Instagram. Or you can put them in the Discord. I don't know. Maybe you feel spontaneous. And moral of the story.
Wait.
And then we can make his dad leave.
Okay. That was pretty tough, guys. Should we watch? Wait. You're telling me that Artemis is about to get to the moon? Wait, Artemis is about to hit the moon. Like what? Wait. That's sick. Through empty space and debris. Wait, we have to watch this, guys. The moon. Guys, this is the moon. Like, they're going to the moon. Like, yeah. We're gonna be watching a live stream instead of a live stream. That's tough. Yo, what? This is absolute peak. A live stream instead of a live stream chat. Yo, everyone from freaking every state. Oh my gosh, you gonna aliens? Okay, wait. This is tough. First from urban. I need to lock in, yo, chat. Akara baku, gaku, kakara baku. Why? Why do you guys don't remember me? Hey. This is absolute niche, yo. Wait. Yo, Gorilla Guy, what's up? Oh, what's good, Gorilla Guy? So, right now, I'm not playing anything right now. We're watching the moon or something like that, since the moon's gonna, or we're gonna pass by the moon soon, I guess, for Artemis 2. So they literally can get stuck in empty space. Like, they can literally never come back. But they also can come back and be the first people to ever go on the moon. That's cool. But I want to change it and do something on here. Right? Let me do something real quick. I want to make it so they're both on the same.
For the data transfer at the end of the day, recommend making a new subdirectory.
titled For Science for your own photos, or with your initials, so we can keep track of which pictures came from which flashcards.
Okay, wait. Which one do you guys want to watch? So we can watch either this one or we can watch this one right here. The one where we're coming towards the moon. Which one, guys? Which one? Which one? Yeah, it's so hard to be an astronaut. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's pretty hard, guys. Wait, do you guys like realize that? Wait, no. What if when they go on the other side of the moon, because no one has ever gotten to the other side of the moon, pretty much. What if the back rooms is behind there, and they get stuck there, and they never go anywhere, and they're stuck in the back rooms. Wait, guys, there's this place called like the universe. Actually, I'm not gonna say that. Oh my gosh, that was a close call. Never mind, shots. I have to call someone. I have to call freaking this store. Wait, let me call someone. Yo, what the Matt Pat Theory. Hey, Game Theory! Bro, what the heck? Why is it all blue, chat? What the heck? Wait, let me call this. Wait, guys. I'm gonna call a place and see if they have Nitos, and if they do, I'll ask them if they can put it on the side. Hi, do you guys have Nitos today? Do you guys have Nitos today? Needoh, Needoh. Is this the bookstore? The Barnes and Nobles? May you please send me there, please? Thank you. Oh wait, guys, we're back. Wait, guys, we're getting closer.
And thanks Integrity for that. Reed, we've had a handover during that time, so I'm gonna have to.
Wait, guys, we're getting closer.
Window orientation really again.
Yeah. Oh wait, I don't know what that is, but just a second, guys. I'm gonna call. Guys, I'm gonna call just a second. Okay. Hi, do you guys have Nitos today? Today? Okay. Should I try calling tomorrow?
Alright, copy all, Reed. A note just on the window 1 t-shirt.
So, what should I try to do?
For the lunar observation block if you want to. If you want that extra view for another floater. But for you guys on that.
Alright.
You are go to use the full 400mm zoom on the long lens. But where possible, try to keep the end of the lens
okay, thank you.
with the window to prevent imaging through the multiple
Guys, I freaking like screamed into the thing when I was in a call. Wait, let me call the. Let me guess. Let me look at the website chat. University.
If you can, take the images out of the left side of window 2 where possible, that is the best half the window. Understand that might not be possible with the shroud. Any other imaging questions from you?
Barnes and Noble.
Okay, last couple reminders. Don't forget the ability to
Yes.
change the wave files to tag imagery that you are wanting to follow up on using the FN3 button on your camera. And then a couple quick notes on your LTP if you want to. We have refined your precise flyby timing since generating the LTP. Optimus has the correct timing for the LOS and AOS, but the LTP identifiers for LOS and AOS are roughly 2 minutes later than they will be in reality. Final LTP timing update is that the green line on your LTP should start automatically 45 minutes before the flyby. If it doesn't appear, let me know and I'll have troubleshooting steps for you. Last updates are on the Eclipse, so only for that last hour today. Of course, remember if the sun is in view to use your Eclipse glasses. And reminder that we will have a few activities for you prior to the eclipse to reconfigure all 3 cameras for corona and deep sky observations. These activities, some of which will occur during the forward link LOS, so we wanted to flag it for you now. Any questions before I cover the last 2 reminders? Okay, last couple reminders. Don't forget the ability to change eclipse reminders, the sunset period, and the...
Alright, see ya. Bro, I'm actually like excited, bro. We're literally about to get to the moon like today. Like it's today. Like, yo, what the heck? Why is everything like the best seller?
In terms of role responsibility, let me know if you want me to read that up for you guys in your minds already. And if no other questions on config, I'll give you a few signing focus reminders. The green line on your LTP should start automatically 45 minutes before the flyby. If it doesn't appear, let me know and I'll have troubleshooting steps for you. Last updates
Give us a quick high level, but we see it in Optimus, and I think we got it squared away. But give us your quick healthy high level.
Yo, this is tough. Oh my gosh. Oh. Yeah, I want a Nito, but I already have a Nito, and it's pretty tough. But actually, can't wait to freaking.
They are different. I don't know if they changed the formula or if this is just what happens with these things after they get a little bit old. But
I have my gum drops. Okay, see ya, Gorilla Gates. Guy GG8.
Please note any correlation between the two, and also a reminder that negative observations are still valuable science. So a lack of color or a lack of structure associated with color is also valuable.
They're about to break into the back rooms today.
Your observations so far indicate it will likely take some time for your eyes to adjust. We especially heard that around your Terminator observations and your color observations. So reminder to know that your eye adaptation is going to come in throughout.
Okay, wait, guys.
And let us know when you start to see that nuance. Last reminder is around EarthSet and EarthRise, when you're viewing us back here at home, you'll be looking directly at Asia, Africa, and Oceania. So I'm sure people watching from those places here on Earth will want to give you all a wave as you take their picture. Any other questions from you?
Wait, that's actually tough. What the heck?
BlueScope is the only feature that the same pair will view twice. That's reading Jeremy. That's why that's the only target you see that is marked as 1 of 1 and 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. So Omen Oriental are in there twice.
And LCA, when you're talking window 2 left and right side, did you say towards window 1 or towards window 3? And then we'll know that we are talking the same language.
A reminder that if you note structure. Absolutely. So I mean that the side of window 2 closest to window 3 is preferred for imaging. Negative observations are still valuable science. So a lack of color or a lack of structure associated with color.
Okay, the side of window 2 closest to window 3 is preferred for recording. Stand by, we'll talk to crew.
It will likely take some time for your eyes to adjust. We especially heard that
are about to pass by the moon on the live stream.
Last reminder is around Earthset and Earthrise, when you're viewing us back here at home, you'll be looking directly at Asia, Africa, and Oceania. So I'm sure people watching from those places here on Earth.
Oh, bro, this is tough, yo.
Kelsey, for the T-shirt shroud, what window does the science team think will have the best view? Is it window 1 or window 4?
The only time we're strongly recommending use of the window shroud.
The T-shirt window shroud for the eclipse view. Which window is primary for Z9? Talking window 2 left and right side.
Window 1.
Can you say towards window 1 or towards window 3, and then we'll know that we are talking the same language? Okay, awesome. So we have got that all set up. And just to be 100% sure, window 1 is the most important window by the food warmer. Window 2 is right in front of C1. Window 3 is right in front of C2. And window 4 is on the starboard side by the side hatch. Do you agree with all that?
We agree on the ground. Good read back.
Yeah, how do people even do that? I say confusing.
Okay, that's awesome. Kelsey, we're going to close with happy words. It's just incredible. I wish you were up here to see all the smiling faces, to hear all these terminologies being thrown around, and we are just fired up to get started on this day. Let me pass the mic around to everybody else. I think that.
Kelsey, it's so great to hear your voice on the loop. I just want to channel everything that you guys are probably feeling right through my eyes and heart. It is awesome to see the side of the moon. You guys made us excited for this day, and we couldn't appreciate it anymore. And we are ready to hopefully deliver on all the awesome training you guys have provided.
How did that, Kelsey? It is blowing my mind what you can see with the naked eye on the moon right now. It is just unbelievable. Kelsey, to the whole Lunar Science team, all of you, all the work you put into this, we're just grateful. Can't wait to keep going. And thank you for the tipper, for Zero Crater, and for Integrity. We can see them, and
Yo, this is absolute peak. This is nonchalant aura. Okay,
Beautiful work, you guys.
right
Thanks
now.
so much. And I got video of the science team right now, and they are all absolutely buzzing. Looking forward to today.
Okay, we're heading into the timeline.
Artemis. Yo, guys, my mom might be watching the stream. Can you watch the stream? And like the video, please. What did I just do? Don't comment. I did call Barnes & Nobles. They don't have it, Mom. Why are we getting... Bro, I wish I could just see the moon right now. That'd be tough.
Beautiful work, you guys. Thanks so much. And I got video of the science team right now, and they are all absolutely buzzing. Looking forward to today.
Buzzing. I'm buzzing, yo. Okay, so
Pre-Lunar Flyby Science Conference with Dr. Kelsey Young.
Oh.
Young has served as the Artemis Science Flight Operations
Getting the crew ready. And we're live in Artemis Mission Control in Houston, but we are not the only room monitoring today's flyby. As you heard Young mention, in this same building and just down the hall, a multidisciplinary lunar science team supports the Artemis II crew in real time, including experts in lunar geology, impact cratering, volcanism, polar science, imaging, and visualization. There are two integrated facilities, and the first is the SIR, which is what you have right here. That's the Science Evaluation Room. They are embedded within Mission Control to provide science input during live operations like what we see today. Additionally, and not pictured, we have the Science Mission Operations Room, a back room that processes data, evaluates imagery, and supports rapid analysis. Our science officer on console in Mission Control Houston serves as the primary interface between the science team and the flight controllers, ensuring science priorities are represented during mission execution. Again, today that's Dr. Kelsey Young, who will be speaking with the crew during the time they're behind the moon. We will be speaking with her once the crew is behind the moon and out of communication with Earth. Back inside the Orion spacecraft on your left, closest to the camera, NASA astronaut Christina Cook. To her left, NASA astronaut Reed Wiseman. To his left,
Integrity crew, we have Reed's family in the viewing gallery. You're welcome to say
Hello.
hello.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I have to say muted.
Well, whether you're being serious or you're kidding around, that is awesome to hear. Thanks, Jenny. And hello to Ellie and Katie. I don't know who else is there, but it's great to know that you're in mission control right now, following along. We are having a blast up here, and the view of the moon is absolutely amazing.
I'm seeing a lot of hearts come out of the viewing gallery and even more smiles. Thanks, Reed.
We are now approaching 8 minutes until the crew surpasses the Apollo 13 record. Currently 12,599 miles away from the moon, 248,507 miles away from Earth.
Copy heart, copy bracelet.
Bro, my science teacher is probably. Bro, what is my. Bro, I bet you my science teacher. Guys, I bet you my science teacher is literally watching this, like, right now. And also, my history teacher. What's up, Miss H? I'm not gonna say your full name if you know my channel, which you probably don't. Bro, I bet you my science teacher. Guys, I bet you my science teacher is literally watching this, like, right now. What's up, Miss H? I'm not gonna say your full name if you know my channel, which you probably don't.
Know that you're in mission control right now, following along. We are having a blast up here, and the view of the moon is absolutely amazing.
I'm seeing a lot of hearts come out of the viewing gallery and even more smiles. Thanks, Reed. Copy heart, copy bracelet.
That call from Capcom Jenny Gibbons, Canadian Space Agency astronaut and Artemis II backup crew member, letting Reed Wiseman know that he has family here to support him today in the Artemis Mission Control viewing room. As I was mentioning, we have the Orion spacecraft flying today. However, the Artemis crew members named their Orion spacecraft Integrity, so you will hear calls to this entire crew with the name Integrity. They say that the name Integrity embodies the foundation of trust, respect, candor, and humility across the crew and the many engineers, technicians, scientists, planners, and required for mission success. This view live from the outside of Orion as we continue Preparing for our lunar flyby, now less than 5 minutes from surpassing the record set by Apollo 13 astronauts for the farthest humans to travel from Earth. This will not be the farthest that Integrity travels today. They will continue until they reach approximately a distance of 252,760 miles. That would be about 4,105 miles farther than Apollo 13. However, these numbers are our targets, and we will get confirmation on those numbers as soon as we possibly can and share them with you all. We talked a little bit about what to expect from the crew, whether that's taking photos or making audio recordings. To get a little more detailed, Reed Wiseman and Jeremy Hansen will be up first to capture imagery and record audio on the portable computing devices. You hear those referred to as PCDs, while Victor and Christina serve as the support members. The crew will switch windows and roles halfway through their shift, and 1 hour and 5 minutes later, Victor Glover and Christina Cook will be the next crew members at windows 2 and 3 to take photos and make annotations, while Reed and Jeremy take on those support roles. There are 5 viewing blocks, and the crew will swap out with each one. During 2 of the blocks, the 2 support members will also be able to enjoy their midday meal. At least 3 times per block is a science sit rep. Again, situational report. This is partially an operational status, reporting back if they missed any targets or gotten any specific ones, if they have issues with their camera or any other operational items. The other part is an actual description of the moon. This task is done by one of the support team astronauts, so that's not the crew currently taking photos or making annotations, but they do have windows 1 and 4 that they can float up and provide that information from. If you watch the entirety of the flyby, you'll also notice the crew will be photographing some targets multiple times to get observations in different lighting conditions. This is due to Orion changing their location throughout the flyby. What this crew will be able to capture in a couple of hours of the same targets in different lighting would take orbiters years to do because of solar and spacecraft positioning. This crew has studied the moon extensively, and they're also familiar with what the science team calls the Big 15. These are 15 features that they've memorized, so at any time, they'll be able to see 5 of those and help orient themselves and where they are around the moon. Those targets are diverse and complex in their geologic history, and observations of them could help answer some big-picture science questions. If you've been following the mission, you can see that the configuration of the cabin is a little bit different than what it looked like on launch day. After ascent, the crew were allowed to reconfigure their spacecraft, and you can see that they've taken down seats. They have also taken away
Integrity
footrests.
crew,
This gives
on
them
April
more
15,
opportunity to move about the
1970,
spacecraft.
during the Apollo 13 mission, 3 explorers set the record for the farthest distance humans have ever traveled from our home planet. At that time, over 55 years ago, Lovell, Swigert, and Hayes flew 248,655 statute miles away from Earth.
Minivans and is 60%
Today,
more
for all
cubic volume
humanity,
than the
you're
Apollo
pushing beyond that
spacecraft.
frontier. Integrity, over to you.
We are standing by for the Integrity crew aboard Orion to surpass the Apollo 13 record.
Yeah, from the cabin of Integrity here as we surpass the furthest distance humans have ever traveled from planet Earth. We do so.
That's freaking cool. Oh my gosh, my freaking ears. But that's freaking cool. I got this on live stream too, but humans have passed the Earth They've went further than any other human. Like, that's cool. Okay. Bro, my mic is actually getting me mad!
Integrity crew, on April 15th,
Stop it.
during the Apollo 13 mission, 3 explorers set the record for the farthest distance humans have ever traveled from our home planet. At that time, over 55 years ago, Lovell, Swigert, and Hayes flew 248,655 statute miles away from Earth. Today, for all humanity, you're pushing beyond that frontier. Integrity, over to you.
From the cabin of Integrity here as we surpass the furthest distance humans have ever traveled from planet Earth. We do so in honoring the extraordinary efforts and feats of our predecessors in human space exploration. We will continue our journey even further into space before Mother Earth succeeds in pulling us back to everything that we hold dear. But we most importantly choose this moment to challenge this generation and the next to make sure this record is not long-lived.
Thank you, Integrity, and congratulations to you and the rest of the Artemis II team.
Thank you, Houston. We have a couple more things we'd like to take this moment for. Our science team helped us out with a couple of relatively fresh craters on the moon that have not been previously named, and our crew would like to propose a couple of potential names for those items or those areas. And we spent a bit of time this morning looking out the window, and we're able to see them now both with our naked eye and through the long lens, and so we feel this is a good time to send this down, and a special shout out to Kelsey for helping us with this. The first one we'd like to suggest is a named crater in honor of our great spacecraft Integrity. And so if you were to look at Oriental on the far side and then draw a line straight up to Ohm on the far side, relatively in the middle is an unnamed crater, and we would like to suggest it be called Integrity in the future. And the second one, and especially meaningful for this crew, is a number of years ago we started this journey in our close-knit astronaut family, and we lost a loved one. And there's a feature in a really neat place on the moon, and it is on the near side, far side boundary. In fact, it's just on the near side of that boundary, and so at certain times of the moon's transit around Earth, we will be able to see this from Earth. And so we lost a loved one. Her name was Carol, the spouse of Reed, the mother of Katie and Ellie. And if you want to find this one, you look at Glushko, and it's just to the northwest of that, at the same latitude as Ohm, and it's a bright spot on the moon. And we would like to call it Carol, and you spell that Carroll.
Integrity and Carroll Crater, loud and clear. Thank you.
most importantly, integrity in the future.
As the Artemis II crew passed the record set by Apollo 13 for the farthest humans to ever fly from Earth at 12:57 p.m. Central Time, 1:57 p.m. Eastern Time, Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen shared.
We're getting ourselves all put back together now, and we are going to dim the cabin lights and prepare for our science objectives ahead. Thank you.
Guys, I just realized that I was listening to two things at the same time. That's why it sounds so confusing. So let me just close this. Full screen.
Sounds good. We're doing the same down here, and you're maneuvering
Listen
to your observation.
And make this. Okay. Now, okay. Yeah. I can I said that. This is tough, guys. Like what? Okay, so yeah, we're literally passing by the moon. Like what? Okay, guys, I'm about to post the video right now.
19 hours, 31 minutes mission elapsed time of the flight of Artemis II, our 4 astronauts aboard Orion. Today is our lunar flyby day. The spacecraft is currently about 12,000 miles away from the moon, and you can keep up with the distance from Orion to the moon and Earth.
What is up, everybody? So,
track Artemis, or you can just stay with us here.
I'll see you
because
guys.
We're going to be telling you throughout the day.
Love y'all, and haven't posted that, so I can use those photos to, you know, make it something. And like, if anyone knows how to make like guys, this thing, comment section, please. Like, guys, my new YouTube short I'm making is like about talking about how I'm doing this, and yeah. I'll see you guys. La 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 la. Which will probably be a live stream or maybe PNG. What is up, everybody? So, as you guys can see, I've been posted for 2 minutes, you know. So, have some bad news and good news. So, bad news is I'm kind of in a big real time for a little bit, you know. Like I did last year, not come back this time, but you know. The good news is that I'm still gonna be posting. So, my plan is to make like a PNG of myself, and then do like videos of it. You know, like PNG reacting with like reacting to videos. Bro, my allergies are actually killing me, bro. I'm gonna cut my nose. I'm gonna cut my nose off. I'm done. Guys, this needle I have is stuff up. I'm really going by the moon, yo.
Next on the cruise timeline today will be their cabin configuration portion. You heard some calls down to Science Officer Dr. Kelsey Young earlier about how they have configured the cabin so far. This is just a little bit more of timelined activity for them if they need to further do so. On Flight Day 3, the crew had time on their schedule allotted for configuring the spacecraft cabin for how they intended to arrange it today. Of course, they had to take down that configuration for another test yesterday of their Orion Crew Survival System suits. But configuring it on Flight Day 3 allows them the opportunity to get a chance to see what works for them now that they are in the microgravity environment. Again, the crew is about to begin their cabin configuration portion of their timeline, though they have been working that already, as well as potentially during their post-sleep period this morning. The official lunar flyby observations are slated to begin in just about 40 minutes. That's when we'll have the crew at the windows photographing the moon, as well as making calls down about what they are seeing. Again, we are live here in Artemis Mission Control for the duration of the flyby. Currently, the Orbit 1 flight control team is on console. This room is staffed 24/7 from the time before the astronauts step foot on the rocket until the time they are splashed down and are safely recovered in the Pacific Ocean on Flight Day 10. Again, this is Artemis Mission Control here in Houston. We are now 11,777 miles away from the moon. We did pass the Apollo 13 record of farthest humans away from Earth at 12:57 p.m. Central Time, 1:57 p.m. Eastern Time. That distance, 248,655 statute miles from the Earth, continuing to be exceeded by the crew. They will reach their farthest distance from the Earth around 6:07 p.m. Central Time. At that
6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7,
Oh my gosh! 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 6, 7?
Integrity and Carol Crater.
And if you want to find this one, you look at Glushko, and it's just to the northwest of that.
As the crew gets into their cabin configuration preparations, we are joined by Dr. Sarah Noble, the Artemis Lunar Science Lead. Thanks for joining us here today.
Yeah, it's quite a day.
Yeah, we as soon as we possibly can. Reed and Jeremy take on those support roles. Record of farthest humans away from Earth at 12:57 p.m. Central Time, 1:57 p.m. Eastern Time. That distance, 248,655 statute miles from the Earth, continuing to be exceeded by the crew. They will reach their farthest distance from the Earth around 6:07 p.m. Central Time. 1,655 statute. He did pass the Apollo 13 record of farthest humans away from Earth at 12:57 p.m. Central Time, 1:57 p.m. Eastern Time. That distance, 248,655 statute miles from the Earth, continuing to be exceeded by the crew. They will reach their farthest distance from the Earth around 6:07 p.m. Central Time. At that
6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7.
did pass the Apollo 13 record of farthest humans away from Earth at 12:57 p.m. Central miles from the Earth, continuing to be exceeded by the crew. They will from the Earth, continuing to be exceeded by the crew.
We are very Earth ready for this team to take.
What's the mood like right now in the SIR?
It is, I would say, giddy. I think we are all we've worked very hard for this. They have done simulation after simulation. They have worked really hard over the last couple of years to get ready for this moment, and I think everybody's just really excited to see. You know, even already we've had some descriptions from the crew coming down, and it's so great to see their joy and our joy, our love for the moon, come through.
Yes, we are in for a real treat today if it's been anything like their observations the past couple of days. So how are the lunar science teams using this test flight to prepare for future missions to the moon?
Yeah, absolutely. This is the way that we are building our foundation for the future, from everything from, you know, how do you train a crew to be a geologist, right? And so, you know, working through that, getting them classroom training, field training, building the science team, building these physical rooms that we are in, designing the software that the teams are using, and then, you know, figuring out what happens to that data. They're going to take this data and it's going to come down, and how do we get it out to not only our team, but out to the world and the rest of the science community.
Yeah, that's a great point, because when you hear these crew members talk, you would never know that they're not geologists. Your team has trained them so well.
They have been very good students.
Who can blame them? It's a pretty great topic. One more question for you. The science that we're doing on Artemis, how long-term...
exploration, and exploration enables science, right? So you need the scientists because we are the ones who are the experts in, landing site and doing analysis of landing site and making sure we can find a good place to land, to like understanding the properties of the soil so we can, design our systems to manage that, understanding the radiation environment, keeping our astronauts safe, all of these things, right? But, in return, you provide us with opportunities where now we're going to be able to collect this data and collect samples and deploy our instruments and all of that. So it's a symbiotic relationship.
That makes perfect sense. Well, Dr. Sarah Noble, Artemis Lunar Science Lead, thank you so much for joining us here today. Best of luck to you and your team, and I hope that you get to enjoy today too.
Thank you so much.
We are now getting closer and closer to our lunar neighbor. This live view coming from the Orion spacecraft and a camera mounted on one of its solar array wings.
So guys, this is, oh my gosh, best stop. My ears actually hurt. Guys, this is absolutely cool. This is actually annoying. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need a new mic, chat. I need to go. Oh my gosh. Stop it. Stop it. So guys, this is pretty awesome. I mean, we're going to pass the moon. Stop it. Tough, Mr. Tough.
Hey Jenny, these are card numbers for the various positions. For the long lens on the D5, we have individual cards. Victor's 1008, Jeremy 1019, Reed 1012, myself 1015. For the Z9, we will have one card that is dedicated for today, serial number 1007. For the cabin camera D5, we will have one dedicated card for today, serial number 1022.
All right, Christina, we copy all. Thank you.
We just realized that we have Earth out window 1 and Moon out window 2. And Earth out window 4 and Moon out window 3. And it gives you the best idea of scale we have had yet. The Moon is about 3 to 4 times the size of the Earth, and it is almost full, and the Earth is just a small crescent out there. It's magnificent. I got a picture of it with the wide lens. Such a majestic
Amaze, amaze, amaze. Thank you, Reed.
Those are some of the communications we're excited most about today. Commander Reed Wiseman calling down their view right now. Obviously a little bit different than what we can see from the solar array camera. They are looking through the windows of the Orion spacecraft, able to see at the same time Earth and the moon. You also heard NASA astronaut Christina Cook calling down some of the cameras that they will be using today. The crew is in that cabin configuration portion, and we expect the lunar flyby observation period to start. You also heard NASA astronaut Christina Cook calling down some of just about 20 minutes. The crew is in that cabin configuration portion, and we expect the lunar flyby observation period to start just about 20 minutes. Checking in on Orion's distance and speed. They are currently traveling 1,071 miles per hour, 249,159 miles away from Earth, 11,293 miles away from the moon, and continuing to grow closer. Checking in on Orion's distance and speed. At closest approach to the moon today, the spacecraft will be just about 4,070 miles away from the lunar surface. This will be during our loss of signal with the crew as they travel behind the moon, and we will await their return to get the official number for you for how close they come to our lunar neighbor. Will be just about 4,070 miles away from the lunar surface. This will be during our loss of signal with the crew as they travel behind the moon, and we will await their return to get the official number for you for how close they come to our lunar neighbor. Inside the cabin today, the lunar targeting package is the primary tool guiding the crew observations and consists of two key components. The Lunar Geography Review helped the astronauts study major lunar features in advance and help learn how to orient themselves during the flyby. Because, of course, the moon is not actually labeled like it appears here when we look at this map. The lunar targeting plan provides a detailed timeline of observation targets, background science context, and specific instructions for the pictures the crew should take, as well as the verbal descriptions that will be helpful to the science team reviewing them later. This is a screenshot from their lunar targeting package, and a screenshot specifically of that lunar
for attitude.
Specific instructions for the pictures the crew should take.
Go ahead.
That will be helpful to the science team reviewing them later.
Hey Jenny, understanding we are in final attitude now for the lunar flyby, would it be possible to pitch the vehicle down 5 degrees? That would allow us to get the D5 long lens flush and have the least amount of window distortion. Attitude now for the lunar flyby.
We're checking.
That call from Christina Cook, NASA astronaut and mission specialist on Artemis II.
Copy.
The Orion spacecraft is positioned in a specific attitude to allow the crew to best see the moon outside of their windows today for this imaging opportunity. That call was a request for a potential attitude shift just slightly, another 5 degrees, to give them a better view and to give them a better opportunity to use their long lens camera. They'll also be using that lunar targeting package we were discussing. I am following along with that real time, so I'll be able to share with you exactly what targets the crew is looking at and when. They also trained with a lunar science passport. It's a little reference guide used on Earth to reinforce recognition of key lunar features. It is not on the flight, but it was a significant study tool for the crew to get them ready for launch. The apparent size of the moon will change throughout the flyby, and it'll appear roughly like a basketball held at arm's length at the crew's closest approach. That reinforces the need for careful planning and practiced observation techniques.
Houston, integrity for timeline.
Go ahead.
Hey Jenny, just to make absolutely sure that we start observations when expected, we are showing in Optimus that observation time starts in about 15 minutes, and in LTP that our first target, discussion 1, starts in about 29 minutes. Can you confirm you'd like us to start discussion 1 in 29 minutes at 1900 GMT?
Christina, we are tracking that discussion 1 should start at 18:45. That's 15 minutes from now.
Okay, copy all. It may be a granularity issue with LTP, but understand that we start that observation in 15 minutes, and I bet when we get there, the green line in LTP will match the start of the white band for discussion 1. I think it's just a matter of the labeling and the granularity. Thanks for confirming.
Copy, and we'll look into that a little bit more on our side as well. Christina, can you verify for us that your green line is moving on the timeline page of your LTP?
Affirm. Jenny, I do think we're good. Looking closer, I see the labels are just not aligned with start or end times of the white visible bands. It fully makes sense now, so I think we are all set. We'll look forward to starting some observations in about 13 minutes.
Copy. Thanks, Christina.
As you heard discussed, we are expecting the crew's observation time period to start in about 10 minutes. First, they'll be conducting a warm-up, warming up to their science observations of the moon. They'll be discussing with each other, helping each other orient using the major landmarks that they've studied, asking what is familiar.
If we roll left, port 5 degrees, that would get the moon closer to the left side of window 2.
Each other orient using the major landmarks that they've studied, asking what is familiar.
Copy, Victor. We'd like to know if it's pitch and roll or one or the other.
Jenny, we actually thought you already put the pitch in. Had the pitch been put in already?
No, we need a little while longer to talk about it.
So, Jenny, I guess what's happening is just as our orbit's changing, where it is in the window is changing, so maybe these fancy little adjustments aren't worth it. It's going to continue to move in the window. Or is the spacecraft going to keep the moon at the same point of the window if we adjust the attitude? I assume the previous.
Right now, we are pointing the center of the window to the center of the moon with 2 degrees of deadband. Right now, we are pointing the center of the window to the center of the moon with 2 degrees of deadband.
The conversation you hear happening now between the astronauts aboard Orion and Artemis Mission Control here at Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. They are in the center of your screen, seated at the Capcom, or Capsule Communicator Console. That's Jenny Gibbons, Canadian Space Agency astronaut, and Artemis II backup. She was also the lead Capcom for Expedition 63 aboard the International Space Station. That's Jenny Gibbons, Canadian Space Agency astronaut, and Artemis II backup. The crew is requesting some attitude changes to the spacecraft to allow them to better image the moon, our priority for today. Of course, those have to be discussed on the ground before they are put into work aboard the spacecraft, so the team is taking some time to do so. You also heard Gibbons reference that we are in 2 deadbands. Deadbands are essentially keeping us in the lane in which we're traveling. If you're familiar with lane assist in your car, very similar in this case. Spacecraft, so the team is taking some time to do so. You also heard Gibbons reference that we are in 2 deadbands. Deadbands are essentially keeping us in the lane in which we're traveling. If you're familiar with lane assist in your car. We are now 10,870 miles away from the moon, traveling 1,066 miles per hour and 249,390 miles away from Earth. Again, we recently surpassed the Apollo 13 distance record of farthest humans have ever traveled. And upon calling down some words during that milestone, Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen noting that he hopes that this record that they are setting today is soon broken by future explorers. Record of farthest humans have ever traveled. And upon calling down some words during that milestone, Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen noting that he hopes that this record that they are setting today is soon broken by future explorers. This is Artemis Mission Control. We are standing by for the beginning of lunar flyby. Expecting that to start in just a few minutes when the crew will begin a warm-up discussion preparing for the day. They will be capturing images along while discussing what they find familiar about the moon and what looks unexpected to them. Expecting that to start in just a few minutes when the crew will begin a warm-up discussion preparing for the day. They will be capturing images along while discussing what they find familiar about the moon and what looks unexpected to them. Again, just minutes away from the official start of lunar flyby, or when it is timelined for the crew. We are currently 10,726 miles away from the moon. This view on the left side of your screen coming from the camera on one of Orion's solar arrays. We are currently 10,726 miles away from the moon. This view on the left side of your screen coming from the camera on one of Orion's solar arrays. Other conversation points while the crew are getting ready for their flyby today. They'll be looking to orient themselves using major landmarks and annotating their observations along with their discussion. They'll have 10 minutes for that warm-up discussion. They'll be looking to orient themselves using major landmarks and annotating their observations along with their discussion. They'll have 10 minutes for that warm-up discussion.
Houston Integrity. We have two folks at the window deep in discussion talking about all of the awesome features that they're seeing. We just had a huge moment realizing that Hertzsprung is about the same size as our incredible Oriental. We're really excited about this target that's kind of new to us. We're orienting on things like how we talk about albedo, finding some of the prevalent things that we're used to from all of our training, and just overall taking in this view. We also are noticing that the moon is still getting noticeably get warmed up.
We love the report, Christina. Thanks. And you nailed it on why we added Hertzsprung. As you'll see in the prompts, we're looking for comparisons to the comparatively much older Hertzsprung compared to the younger Oriental. Great words. We love the report, Christina. Thanks. And you nailed it on why we added Hertzsprung. As you'll see in the prompts, we're looking for comparisons to the comparatively much older Hertzsprung compared to the younger Oriental. Great words.
This is Artemis Mission Control. That was the voice of Dr. Kelsey Young speaking with the astronauts aboard Orion as they begin their observation period and lunar flyby. NASA astronaut Christina Cook reporting their view of Hertzsprung Basin. The team here is looking for centered images of the basin at a full zoom, and they're hoping that the astronauts can image and describe the inner and outer rings. This is considered a degraded basin with a floor, rings, and ejecta compared to a younger Oriental basin. The team here is looking for centered images of the basin at a full zoom, and they're hoping that the astronauts can image and describe the inner and outer rings. This is considered a degraded basin with a floor and ejecta compared to a younger Oriental basin. We spoke earlier with Julian Gross, the Artemis curation lead, about some of the terms we will hear the crew use today. One of those just called out, that's albedo, looking at surface brightness or the amount of light a surface reflects. We spoke earlier with Julian Gross, the Artemis curation lead, about some of the terms we will hear the crew use today. One of those just called out, that's albedo, looking at surface brightness or the amount of light a surface reflects. A few more terms that we hope to hear today during the crew's sit-reps or situation reports include embaying. This refers to one feature that surrounds another. That usually is a higher relief feature.
Houston Integrity, one report from the crew at the windows. We can actually see the moon and Earth at the same time right now. It's interesting because the Earth looks way brighter, so the Earth itself seems to have a much higher albedo than the moon. We think this is independent of our eyes focusing because, of course, the Earth is much smaller than the moon in our view. So you could think that your eyes focus for the darker sky, and that means that it only has apparent brightness more than the moon. But since we're seeing both in the same view, we do think that this can be inferred as the Earth as a whole has a higher albedo.
Great observation, Christina, and reminder that as you're starting to look for those subtle color and albedo variations on the moon, the relatively bright albedo Earth might make those a little bit difficult, but as your eyes continue to adjust, we expect you to start to see more nuance on the moon. Thanks. And reminder that as you're starting to look for those subtle color and albedo variations on the moon,
great call. Thanks for the reminder.
The relatively bright albedo Earth might make those.
We're all going to be experts in lunar terminology by the end of the day. Another one we expect to hear is mare. These are dark regions paved or filled by volcanic deposits. You also can hear them called seas, oceans, lakes, or marshes, or other bodies of water. We're all going to be experts in lunar terminology by the end of the day. Another one we expect to hear is mare. These are dark regions. Again, we are live in Artemis Mission Control, but on the right side of your screen, that is the Science Evaluation Room. Team members who have been preparing for this day for years. The crew has significantly darkened the cabin of Orion. This allows them better views outside the windows and fewer reflections from inside. They reported being able to see the moon and the Earth out the same window at this time. We are really hopeful to get those photos. Right now, this view on the left side of your screen coming from a camera mounted on one of the solar array wings on Orion outside the spacecraft. They reported being able to see the moon. The crew is equipped with 80 to 400 millimeter zoom lenses. Right now, this view on the left side of your screen coming from a camera mounted on one of the solar array wings on Orion outside the spacecraft. The crew is equipped with 80 to 400 millimeter zoom lenses. The team continues their warm-up discussion. I should say the crew members aboard Orion continue their warm-up discussion. However, they are about to be prompted to move on to discussion number 2, which is near side and far side. Some of the things that they are looking to capture, the ground has prompted them to photograph anything that stands out to them and to compare the near side versus the far side mare in color, albedo, topography, and texture. They also want the crew to compare the appearance of rayed craters in the near side mare versus in the far side highlands. Of course, a reminder that some of the items that the crew, or some of the landmarks the crew are seeing today, is the first time that humans have ever laid eyes on those portions of the moon. In the targeting package, there are a few reminders of the crew. For the crew, there are time-sensitive observation reminders and science sit rep reminders.
Integrity. We have a sit rep. The targets that are being discussed right now, it's the far side, near side comparison, and hearing some great discussion of browns and greens in the Aristarchus Plateau and how those disappear as you go toward the North Pole, and then over to the far side, you lose the color. You've got Jeremy in window 2, Reed in window 1, having a great discussion. Christina's under window, I'm sorry, Reed is in window 3. Christina's under window 1, documenting the discussion. And we've got the lights completely off in the cabin. There are some LEDs that we cannot put out that do provide some light scatter. But we have all of the internal lights off and are letting our eyes adjust as best we can. The window 4 view, you only get about a third of the moon. Tycho is going to go over the horizon soon, and you can see Aristarchus, and then you start to lose the view as you go to the west in Oceanus and Procellarum. So far, the team is on the plan, and the long lens is being put to good use, and recordings are being made, and internal documentation of the configuration and the observations is ongoing. Science, do you have any questions for us at this time?
Integrity Science, Victor, very glad that you provided the first formal science sit rep. These are indeed your idea.
Guys, I'm back.
Any relationship between those browns and greens you described? Do you see them blending into one another, and do you see any topography associated with either color?
Oh my gosh. Where is like guys, like, what is it called? You guys know those like dumplings, those squishy stress ball dumplings? Yeah, we're gonna do that ASMR right now. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Understood, Victor, and good call from that Bugs Window team. Really like the brightness comparisons to Burgess A. Really helpful for the science team.
Okay, we're done with the moment. Guys, what should I do today? I think I might. figure out something soon. I might go all the way down here.
Albedo variation inside of Grimaldi as well. And then even on the west side, there's still a very dark part of it. But it is still the darkest. It is just not as uniform as it looked when we were farther away. We're starting to differentiate the striations of albedo inside of Grimaldi.
Copy all, Victor, and you read our mind. Superlatives like darkest, biggest are really, really helpful for us, so keep those coming.
Hey, what if I go fishing? Wait, let's go. Wait, what if I go fishing? Like, by myself. Wait, chat, what if I go fishing? Wait, that Loki's a smart idea. What if I go fishing? Wait.
As we were just mentioning, the crew is slated to perform these science sit reps. They are prompted to do so by an icon in their lunar targeting plan. That one coming down from NASA astronaut and pilot of Artemis
Wait, I might go
Victor
fishing.
Glover.
Wait, that's tough. Wait, what if I go fishing with my friends? Wait, that'd be actually cool. Everything is stopping me. Everything is talking to me.
Capcom is usually the only person in the room speaking with the crew, the capsule communicator. However, today, the science officer, Dr. Kelsey Young, she is the Artemis Science Flight Operations Lead, is speaking with the crew during the flyby to ask any questions that the team may have. To her right is Trevor Graff. He is one of 3 science officers. Those would be Kelsey Young, Victor Graff, and Angela Garcia, who will also join us later for an interview.
Oh, my nose is absolutely dead. Bro, how did you guys even hear me, bro? This mic is absolutely too good, bro. Ba-da-da-da-da. I'm gonna send up with my. I'm gonna shut up. Wait.
Once I was able to get 2 eyes on it, what jumped out at me was Vavilov. It's just peeking out of the Terminator. It's clear of the Terminator now, but it just really jumps out because it's still got the low light, the low sun angle. And so where the, Vavilov has that impact over the top of another crater, where the 2 craters intersect on the eastern edge. So on the side closest to Oriental, where the 2 crater rings intersect, the shadow there is the highest peak in the interior of Vavilov, and so you can see that terrain is, there's some real variation in the terrain there, that there's a nice peak where those peaks intersect, where those rings intersect, and we'll get a picture of that.
Love the description, Victor, especially the comparison and relationships you just described about topography. And if it's easier for your observations, do feel free to remove the T-shirt shroud from window 1.
Yeah, absolutely, we will do. Thank you.
Those calls coming from NASA astronaut Victor Glover. As we discussed, the crew is working in pairs at the windows. Right now, taking photos are Commander Reed Wiseman and Mission Specialist Jeremy Hansen. Serving as their support team are pilot Victor Glover and Mission Specialist Christina Cook. You're hearing those calls from Victor Glover, as he is on that support team, and he is tasked with providing the science sit reps, while the two crew photographing and making annotations of the moon are in Windows 2 and 3. Windows 1 and 4 are available for the support crew to fly up to, obviously look at the moon themselves, and provide these science situational reports. The view on your screen is part of the lunar targeting package, and it's something that the crew can reference as they are flying by, but this is an animation. You also heard Glover mention Oriental. Oriental is a major feature that the team is interested in today, and it's known as the Grand Canyon of the Moon. Until this mission, the Oriental Basin had never been seen in sunlight by human eyes. Oriental Basin and its surrounding ejecta could fit within a straight line distance from NASA's Johnson Space Center, where we are at today, to Kennedy Space Center. This a live view in Artemis Mission Control in Houston, Texas, where the teams are monitoring all systems, not just for today's flyby, but on the spacecraft themselves. Again, this is a test flight, our very first flight of humans on the Orion spacecraft. This team has been monitoring the entire time of the mission, as well as we have been live the entirety of the mission, and we will be continuing to do so all the way through splashdown and crew recovery from the Pacific. This is a visualization from ARROW, the Artemis Real-Time Orbit website that you can also access at any time by visiting nasa.gov/trackartemis, showing us that we are now under 10,000 miles from the moon, 9,948 to be specific, and continuing to count down. Again, our closest approach to the moon today should come about 6:02 p.m. Central, 7:02 p.m. Eastern. However, we will be out of contact with the crew at this time as they begin transiting behind the moon. At that time of closest approach, the distance from Orion to the lunar surface will be about 4,070 miles. Of course, these are estimates at this time, and we'll be sure to provide you with the official numbers once that closest approach has been reached. This shot live inside the Orion spacecraft, where our 4 crew members are continuing with their lunar flyby activities. They have just begun those activities really about 20 minutes ago, so we've got several hours of moon view opportunities. This is still a live view inside that capsule. However, you can see just how dark they have turned down the lights. Actually, they've turned them all the way off. There are a few LEDs that they cannot power off, but turning down these lights gives them better views outside of the spacecraft's windows while they photograph the moon. This also prevents any reflections from inside the spacecraft bouncing up on the windows and interfering with their photography. as we were previously discussing, the crew members are serving on teams. The first team being Commander Reed Wiseman and Mission Specialist Jeremy Hansen at the windows photographing what they see. We heard reports earlier that they could see both the moon and the Earth in the same view, and we are looking forward to seeing the moon and the Earth in the same view as well. That Earth set coming up in just a few hours. While Wiseman and Hansen are at the windows photographing, Glover and Cook are serving as support crew. They are able to assist with cameras. They are also providing those situation reports, letting us know how the team is working inside the spacecraft, what they're seeing, and how they're feeling about it. Those first blocks of teams will last about an hour, and the crew members are approaching the halfway point into their first observation block. A reminder, we have 5 of those blocks today. So they're approaching this halfway point, during which the crew at the window will switch roles. One will begin taking pictures, and the other will be making annotations on their PCD, that's portable computing device. Both of those crew members at the windows are recording audio of what they see. They are putting on headsets and recording audio into their portable computing devices. Obviously, we are not hearing this right now. This is going to be sent down to the science team, and they will be able to analyze that at a later time. What we are hearing, though, and will continue to hear, are those science sit reps a few times every block. Once this block is complete, about 40 minutes from now, we will have the teams switch. That means pilot Victor Glover and
Science integrity, looking at a window 1. I think I may have misreported earlier saying that it was Tycho going over the horizon. That was Copernicus I was referring to. Apologies. It was Copernicus is what is farthest bounding to the east, and that is now like on the horizon or just past it. And the Korolev is now a few degrees from going over the horizon. And then, next it'll be Aristarchus Plateau. And so on the west, we are getting a much better view of the Terminator. Looks like we have about 80% illumination of the moon. And Vavilov and 1 Vavilov diameter to the west is where the Terminator is right now. And so other features are starting to peek out there. The center of the illuminated part of the moon is to the lower part is Oriental, and just around Oriental, a lot of light structure is starting to show up. A lot of high albedo, similar to the feature I cannot remember, Burgess Alpha, and Aristarchus type high albedo in the ring. So when you look at the interior ring and the external ring, it's almost as if the edges are starting to dry up and turn white. If it was something that was wet and got dry, the edges would be the part to dry first. You just kind of outline all the topography in the interior of that wall is like it was dusted with chalk or is starting to dry, or maybe dusted with snow. If this was the Earth, I would say there was snow dumped on some of the ridges on the interior of the rings of Oriental. Also, an interesting part of the discussion that I heard between Reed and Jeremy is that from Glushko to Grimaldi, there are 2 dark features there that look like commas, but in the wrong direction. But there's also a lot of interestingness, just a lot of geometry and squiggles and dots and lines that are starting to stand out as more small features come into view. And there also is a lot of variation in albedo. And some of those, the 2 dark features, for example, have on the southern edge of the larger one, the one that's further to the south, there's a very dark, the 1 albedo, like the southern and western part of Grimaldi. And the one to the north, closer to Glushko, is also that same dark albedo. And then around them, there are some very high albedo spots just to the north of the southern one, and just to the west, the smaller one to the north. Very high albedo, almost approaching the 10, a 9 or a 10, like Aristarchus. And lots of little bright as you look up at the North Pole, there is a very distinct crater with a lot of a very defined central peak that is also 3 in albedo, and all of that area past it, going to the horizon, gets lighter and lighter, and is very, very high albedo. And I will go look and find the name of that feature if I can look that up. And then to the south, really getting some interesting geography and topography in the South Pole Aitken Basin. And the view of the South Pole is quite amazing. We've got some Terminator there, as well as the limb view, and there is a very distinct crater right at the South Pole. And I'm going to go look up, I don't believe that is Aiken, but I'm going to go look up the name of that one because it's also giving a lot of good topography due to the shadows that I'm seeing. But that's, I was trying to bound the view that I'm seeing for it and got distracted by all of these interesting albedo variations that are popping up in the interior. But that's the view that we see just a Vavilov diameter to the west beyond is where the Terminator is. Just beyond, I think Copernicus is the easternmost feature that we can see. A very nice ringed, very nice structure crater to the north with a great high albedo central uplift to the north, and the south is dotted by a very characteristic crater with a lot of terrain, shadow features, and I will go try to find some landmarks to put names with those. Any questions for the observation team?
Integrity Science, love the descriptions. You're definitely looking odd up there. Appreciate seeing the training being implemented. Especially interested in your descriptions of the dark patches. You compared the comma-looking features to the albedo you see in Grimaldi and noticed that you're starting to see those color differences popping out. Any observations you want to make, especially when you get on, the PCD in a little bit, would really help us tease out the differences in those dark Mare deposits. Great description, Victor. Keep them coming. You see in Grimaldi and notice that you're starting to see those color differences popping out.
Absolutely will do, and I know you've got descriptions on both of the window observers right now as well. Keep them coming.
The differences in those dark Mare deposits. Great description, Victor. Keep them coming.
Absolutely will do, and I know you've got descriptions on both of the window observers right now as well. Keep them coming.
Great evidence of how well trained this crew is by the science team. NASA astronaut and pilot of the Artemis II mission, Victor Glover, calling down a situation report, noting several different features on the moon and such descriptions, even saying that it looks like snow on some of the peaks. Obviously, we do not expect that to be snow, but referencing that as some of the lighting on how it looks to the Artemis II crew from their current position. On the moon and such descriptions, even saying that it looks like snow on some of the peaks. Obviously, we do not expect that to be snow, but referencing that as some of the lighting on how it looks to the Artemis II crew. The team is slated to be switching their positions at the windows now. Both Reed Wiseman and Jeremy Hansen have been at windows 2 and 3, one taking photos, one making observations and annotations on their portable computing device. To be switching their positions at the windows now. At this time, we also anticipate that they are looking at a crater duo. One of those is Glushko, and the other is Ohm. The team is looking to know the extent of Glushko's ray system and how its rays differ in the Mare versus the Highlands. They also want the team to compare the ray systems of Glushko to Ohm. And the other is Ohm is considered a young crater. And if you've ever seen a photo of the Richat structure, it's also known as the Eye of the Sahara. It's 40 kilometers in diameter, and that could fit within Ohm's interior. Ohm is considered a young crater. The team is specifically interested in descriptions of that ray visibility, including the color, albedo. Remember, albedo is the brightness or the surface reflection, and the reach. Again, I am using the same lunar targeting package that the crew is referencing on board right now. This helps keep them on time as well as prompt them for when they need to make a call down to the science team and report what they're saying. It also gives them reminders of when they need to swap positions at the windows. Additionally, I'm using the Artemis II Lunar Science Passport developed by Amber Turner and the Artemis II Lunar Science team. Now, this passport did not fly with the crew, but they used it extensively as a study guide here on Earth. So a lot of the descriptions and comparisons you hear today are developed directly by the science team. We are now 4 days, 20 hours, and 43 minutes.
Science, integrity, that crater to the north, that is, it's like we've got one in the north that looks like just a textbook crater, and one on the South Pole as well. The one on the north, I think, is Pythagoras. And what I wanted to highlight about that is it is either a very distinct central uplift or just a very defined area of high albedo. If a majority of the crater, especially the floor of the crater, is, say, an albedo of 5, this center, and gosh, only a tenth of the diameter of Pythagoras is an albedo of 2, maybe 3, but it is very bright and it stands out. And then between that crater and the actual what is the horizon from here, there seems to be another crater right on the horizon, and right on the edge of that is another patch of that albedo. It seems to be between the two craters. It's hard to tell from this grazing angle, but there is another spot just further north beyond Pythagoras. Between the two, I can draw a picture of this one and show you where that very high albedo, again another 2 albedo surrounded by 5 and most of the area bounding it. Another spot just further north beyond Pythagoras. Between the two.
Integrity Science, thanks for that. We agree with the Pythagoras assessment. And as a follow-up to your previous report, the SIR had questions about topography comparisons between the North Pole and the South Pole of the Moon, if you're willing to provide words on that.
Thanks for that. We agree with the Pythagoras assessment. And as a follow-up...
Topography comparisons, absolutely. And if you have any idea what... if you draw a line between Pythagoras and the western edge of the outer defined ring of Oriental, it intersects a beautiful textbook crater on the south. I would love to know the name of that. The topography differences, now the South Pole has a little bit of a benefit that it has more of the terminator, and I can see a little more shadowing there, but there's a nice crater right at the South Pole, so that's the main thing defining the topography there. Seems to be quite a bit of elevation change. I can see some very jagged shadows, a 90-degree just to the west of that crater at the South Pole. I can see a very distinct change in the shadow directions, indicating, I don't know, a very high wall or a very deep canyon just to the west of that. And in the north, it seems to be that from sort of the edge of the Mare that's dark, which is maybe 1 Pythagoras diameter south, if you draw a ring about that, maybe the top 7 degrees of the moon, and just draw a ring around that, the near side is an albedo of 5 and looks quite smooth from here. And then along the same edge of the Mare. The edge of the Mare that kind of Grimaldi's just outside of, Glushko is just outside of, Carroll Crater is just outside of, and you start to see the stark differences between the darker 7/8 and the 5s and 6s. The 4s and 5s. If you follow that line up to the north, that line is also where the change in topography happens at the North Pole. The line defining the light and dark on the edge of the Mare that you can see from Earth. Draw that line, roughly the midpoint of all that, straight to the North Pole. And on the side facing the Earth, you see smoother topography and dotted by Pythagoras and its next door neighbor crater. And then on the far side, you see a lot more cratering and a lot more topography. And again, the far side has the benefit of a little terminator there, but I am seeing a variation in the topography. It seems to be more jagged and a more challenging place to find a place to land and to even traverse in the south. All around the South Pole, and at the North Pole, it seems to be it would be more challenging to translate on the far side of the North Pole compared to the near side of the North Pole around Pythagoras.
Copy all, Victor. You really help paint a contextual picture of what you're looking at. We really appreciate the way that you're guiding us into the areas you're seeing by drawing comparisons between recognizable features. Thanks for that. Copy all, Victor. You really help paint a contextual picture of what you're looking at. We really appreciate the way that you're guiding us into the areas.
And Kelsey, another little science sit rep moment, something I just heard from the window team is the more I look at the moon, the browner and browner it looks. I thought that was an interesting observation. The two observers have been on timeline, no hardware issues. They did start to talk a little bit about another feature that you'll hear more about on the recordings that they call the handprint. That was at the end of their Glushko and before they moved into their current target. They thought that was worth chatting a little bit more about. And they're preparing to switch after this.
Houston copies and concurs.
Hey, Houston Science, actually Houston and Science Integrity, another just observation from the human. My eyes have shifted a little bit since I've been up here. I've been wearing my reading glasses to look at the PCD. Well, this is a very taxing event on the eyes, looking out the window and seeing the very bright moon, then coming back inside to the dark cabin and trying to work cameras and microphones and logistics and lunch and those kinds of things, and then looking at the PCD, which is dimly lit. It's just been an exercise. It is a difficult thing to manage it. I'm up and down on the glasses and then having to wait as my eyes adjust when I come back in. As soon as I look back into the cabin from looking out the window, I can feel my eyes adjusting, and I just have to work through it as they adjust.
Appreciate that report, Victor, and know that we are prepared to read you up targets from the ground if that would give you the ability to keep your eyes focused on the moon and not having to swap between that and the PCD. Just let us know. Appreciate that report, Victor, and know that we are prepared to read you up targets from the ground if that would.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Science, and we will also do that for the window teams, and we'll back each other up that way as well. But we appreciate that. We may take you up on that. Thanks.
Continued detailed descriptions from the Artemis II crew aboard Orion. Again, this is a test flight, the first time we've flown humans aboard this spacecraft. So every detail, even that it's difficult to look outside the window and then back at the PCD, that portable computing device, every single detail is appreciated as we prepare for future missions. Glover also mentioned that he is now wearing his glasses now that he's in space and that his eyes have shifted a bit. This is something that happens when our astronauts go to space. There is a fluid shift from the lower half of your body up into your head, and that can cause changes in your eyes. It's something that we have seen over time for some crew members, especially now that we have been living and working on the International Space Station for over 25 years. There is a fluid shift Again, it's clear that these Artemis II astronauts have undergone extensive lunar science training, including classroom instruction, fieldwork, and high-fidelity simulations. Training expeditions even took place in analog environments like the Icelandic Highlands and the Kemasassen impact crater in Labrador, where crews practiced identifying and describing geologic features under varying conditions. Additionally, here at Johnson Space Center, Orion mock-ups were used to rehearse crew choreography, including three-dimensional space management with an inflatable moon globe to simulate the flyby. And while on Earth, the crew also used that small lunar passport that I mentioned with descriptions, photos, and prompts to help them study the features we hope they'll see. Now, this is a view from their lunar targeting package at this time, helping them determine what they're seeing on the moon, as well as on the left, keep up with what their next target will be. As you can see, we have got a long list and an exciting day ahead of us. It's now been 4 days, 20 hours, and 53 minutes since Orion launched atop the Space Launch System rocket from Kennedy Space Center in Florida with our 4 crew members aboard. NASA astronauts Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, and Christina Cook, and Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen. The Artemis II crew passed a major milestone today when they passed the Apollo 13 distance record at 12:57 p.m. Central, 1:57 p.m. Eastern. That Apollo 13 distance record was 248,655 statute miles from Earth.
And Houston, another observation, whole moon. When you look at the moon, something I've never seen in photographs before but is very apparent, all the really bright new craters. Some of them are super tiny. Most of them are pretty small. There's a couple that really stand out, obviously. And what it really looks like is like a lampshade with tiny pinprick holes and the light shining through. They are so bright compared to the rest of the moon. Most of them are pretty small.
We copy, Christina. Thank you. Looks like you guys might be doing it, but remind you to swap positions at the window and take your SD cards with you. We're loving everything that you're calling down, so keep it up. We copy, Christina. Thank you. Looks like you guys might be doing it, but remind you to swap positions at the window and take your SD cards with you. We're loving everything that you're calling down, so keep it up.
Again, Orion previously surpassed that the Apollo 13 greatest distance from Earth by humans. That was 248,655 statute miles from Earth, and Orion now 250,294 miles away from our home planet. The spacecraft is 9,033 miles away from the moon and growing ever closer. At its closest approach, it'll be about 4,070 miles away, and we will make sure we confirm what that distance ends up being. This is an approximation and an estimate ahead of that moment. We're anticipating them to make that closest approach at 6:02 p.m. Central, 7:02 Eastern, when they are in a loss of signal, transiting behind the moon. They will be the first humans in over 50 years to fly behind the moon and lose contact with Earth. We will regain that contact about 40 minutes later as they reconnect to the Deep Space Network, emerging from behind the moon, and we will look forward to seeing an Earthrise. They will be the first humans in over 50 years to fly behind the moon and lose contact with Earth. We will regain that contact about... Again, the crew is currently in their position swap portion on their timeline. This allows crew members the opportunity and the experience of all roles necessary during today's flyby. Right now, those 2 crew members at the window have swap positions. This allows crew members the opportunity and the experience of all roles necessary during
Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. I have to go. I'm going to go chill. So see you guys later and goodbye. Bye bye. Hey, W stream.